Betrayal doesn't just break trust, it breaks the illusion that loyalty is permanent. It's like lending someone your most valuable book, and when it's returned, the pages are torn and the spine is cracked. No matter how carefully you repair it, you'll always notice the damage. That's the weight betrayal leaves behind, the memory of what was once whole, now scarred forever. Niccolò Machiavelli, in The Prince, didn't sugarcoat this truth. He warned us that people are often fickle, ungrateful, and deceivers. For him, betrayal was not shocking, it was predictable. Not because everyone is cruel, but because most people act from self-interest. The painful part is that we, in our hope, forget this. We think love will secure loyalty. But Machiavelli reminds us love fades, self-interest rarely does. That's why in today's video, we're going to uncover 7 things that happen to trust after betrayal through the brutal but clear-eyed wisdom of Machiavelli. These aren't just theories. They're psychological shifts that happen inside you, in your relationships, and in how you see human nature itself. These 7 things will help you see betrayal differently, not as an accident, but as a teacher. They'll show you how to rebuild trust with strategy, with clarity, and most importantly, without losing your sovereignty in the process. Because the greatest danger after betrayal is not losing others, it's losing yourself. Before we dive in, I want you to reflect for a moment. Think about a time you were betrayed. Maybe by a friend, a partner, or even family. Ask yourself, did that betrayal make you close your heart completely? Or did it make you sharper, wiser, more sovereign? Share your story in the comments. Your experience might be the mirror someone else needs to finally understand their own. And as you listen to these 7 truths, remember, betrayal does not have the final word. Don't forget, subscribe to this channel and hit the like button. Let's delve in. 1. The shattered illusion of loyalty. Consider the story of Elena, a woman who built her life around a circle of close friends she believed would never abandon her. When she went through a crisis, a failed business venture, one of her most trusted companions quietly distanced himself, even spreading rumors to protect his own reputation. At first, Elena was devastated. She felt not only betrayed, but foolish for ever believing he was true. But with time, she realized her mistake was not in trusting, but in assuming that loyalty was absolute. People act out of self-interest, and sometimes that means choosing themselves over you. Elena's lesson was hard, but transformative. She did not stop trusting, she simply trusted with discernment, setting boundaries, and watching actions more than words. Betrayal cuts deeper than ordinary loss because it doesn't just take something away from you, it undermines the very foundation of human connection, trust. To be betrayed is to feel the ground crack beneath your feet. It is not simply the act itself that wounds, but the destruction of an illusion you once held dear, that loyalty, honesty, and consistency were stable pillars in human relationships. Machiavelli, always unflinchingly honest about human nature, warned that men are less hesitant to offend one who makes himself loved than one who makes himself feared. His reasoning was simple. Love, unlike fear, is fragile. Love relies on trust, a delicate bond built on belief in another's character. Fear, on the other hand, is grounded in power, which does not require faith, only submission. When betrayal occurs, it exposes the fragility of love and reveals how quickly the illusion of loyalty can be shattered. The first wound of betrayal is not the act itself, but the realization that you misjudged someone. You believed their words, their gestures, their promises, and now, in retrospect, every memory feels poisoned. Suddenly, you question not only them, but yourself. If you were wrong about this person, could you be wrong about others? Could your instincts fail you again? This destabilization of judgment is perhaps the cruelest consequence of betrayal. It turns your own mind into hostile territory. Yet here is where Machiavelli's ruthless clarity becomes useful. He reminds us that people are not primarily guided by loyalty or morality, but by self-interest. To expect otherwise is to set yourself up for disappointment. Trust, then, is not a default condition, it is a conscious risk. When you trust someone, you are placing a bet on their character, knowing full well that ambition, fear, or desire may one day outweigh their loyalty. This doesn't mean trust is foolish, it means trust is courageous, because it accepts uncertainty. This is the essence of healing after betrayal. Understanding that misplaced loyalty does not make you weak, it makes you human. The challenge is not to shut down and withdraw, but to rebuild your perception. Do not let betrayal turn your heart into stone. Instead, let it sharpen your vision. Trust again, but this time, trust with wisdom, with balance, and with the courage to walk away when respect is broken. Betrayal may shatter illusions, but it also clears the path toward truth. 2. The Machiavellian law of self-interest. Take the story of Marcus, a young entrepreneur who partnered with a longtime friend to launch a business. In the beginning, they were united by shared dreams, splitting profits and responsibilities equally. But when a lucrative investor offered Marcus's partner a solo deal to cut him out, temptation struck. The friend betrayed Marcus, taking the offer and leaving him to pick up the pieces. Marcus was devastated, but he eventually understood. The betrayal wasn't born from malice alone, it was born from self-interest. His partner saw more gain in disloyalty than in partnership. When Marcus started again, he built his alliances differently. He ensured that contracts tied his partner's financial survival to the health of the business. He fostered mutual dependencies where loyalty wasn't simply sentimental, but structural. This time, his trust was not naive, it was strategic. And because of that, his relationships grew stronger, not weaker. When Machiavelli wrote The Prince, he did not paint humanity with flattering colors. He observed with brutal clarity that men are ungrateful, fickle, simulators, and deceivers. His words strike at the heart of betrayal. It is not an accident, nor is it rare, it is the natural cost of forgetting that people act primarily out of self-interest. To rebuild trust after betrayal, one must first swallow this bitter truth. The person who betrayed you did not do so because they were confused, lost, or acting blindly. They betrayed you because, in that moment, their calculation of benefits outweighed their calculation of loyalty. The betrayal could have been material money, power, resources. It could have been emotional, a desire for validation, freedom, or escape. Or it could have been subtle and unconscious, a survival instinct cloaked in rationalizations. But make no mistake, it was still a calculation. This realization changes the way you approach trust. Betrayal stops feeling like a personal attack on your worth and instead reveals itself as a strategic move in the messy game of human relationships. When people betray, they do so not because you are unworthy, but because, to them, the reward of disloyalty outweighed the risk of being caught. From this perspective, trust is not about blind faith, it is about alignment. If someone's reputation, survival, or success is closely tied to your well-being, betrayal becomes costly. They have as much to lose as you do. But if someone sees your downfall as an opportunity, if they believe abandoning you will bring greater advantage than loyalty ever could, then betrayal becomes tempting. Machiavelli would remind us that the wise do not ignore this risk, they anticipate it. The lesson is simple but profound. Trust after betrayal should not be built on the illusion of eternal loyalty, but on the logic of shared interest. When you rebuild trust, don't ask, "Do they love me enough not to betray me?" Instead, ask, "What would they lose if they did?" Love can falter, but interests are measurable. Anchor trust in alignment, and betrayal becomes less of a looming threat and more of a distant possibility. 3. Rebuilding inner sovereignty. The deepest wound of betrayal is not the disloyalty itself, but what it does to your inner foundation. The moment trust is broken, it plants a subtle poison in your mind. It whispers, maybe you are not worthy of loyalty. Maybe you are blind. Maybe you cannot see people for who they are. These whispers are more dangerous than the betrayal itself because they attack sovereignty, the unshakable sense that you are master of your own judgment, your own worth, your own life. Machiavelli warned that rulers who lose confidence in themselves become pawns. Their decisions are no longer theirs, they bend under pressure, leaning on advisors, flatterers, and opportunists who rush to exploit weakness. The same applies to us after betrayal. When we begin to doubt our judgment, we hand over our power. We either cling desperately to new relationships, begging for reassurance, or retreat into a fortress of mistrust, isolating ourselves in bitterness. Both extremes, naive dependency or rigid cynicism, are forms of slavery. You are no longer sovereign, but ruled by fear. This is the hidden danger of betrayal. The act itself is painful, yes, but survivable. What destroys a person is when they allow betrayal to corrode their independence. A sovereign who doubts themselves is no longer sovereign, they are prey. To rise from betrayal, you must rebuild sovereignty. This requires 3 disciplines. 1. Emotional detachment. Recognize that loyalty is rare, fragile, and never guaranteed. When you stop expecting permanence, betrayal loses some of its sting. You do not become heartless, you become unshakable. Disappointment no longer feels like devastation. 2. Self-validation. Your worth cannot be left in the hands of those who betrayed you. When you measure yourself only by the loyalty of others, you will always be vulnerable. True sovereignty means saying, even abandoned, even deceived, I am still whole. 3. Strategic trust. Trust must no longer be given freely as if it were infinite. Instead, you give it carefully, like a ruler granting limited power. You observe. You measure. You align interests before granting deeper access. This is not paranoia, it is wisdom. Trust is still possible, but it is no longer blind. Think of a fortress rebuilt after being breached. The sovereign does not say, I will never open my gates again. Nor do they swing them open for anyone who knocks. They rebuild with stronger walls, smarter watchmen, and a gate that opens only for those who have earned it. This is sovereignty after betrayal, not isolation, but mastery. The danger is real. If you do not reclaim sovereignty, betrayal will own you long after the betrayer is gone. You will live in their shadow, doubting your worth, your judgment, your ability to stand alone. That is the true prison of betrayal. Your call to action is this: do not let betrayal make you smaller. Rebuild your sovereignty. Stand so firmly in yourself that loyalty, when it comes, is a gift, not a requirement. Trust again, but trust as a sovereign, not as a subject. 4. The art of testing loyalty. Machiavelli often warned princes against taking promises at face value. Words, he said, are cheap, only actions reveal true loyalty. After betrayal, the temptation is to either retreat completely or forgive too quickly. But Machiavelli would advise neither. He would counsel you to test loyalty deliberately. How is loyalty tested? By observing behavior in small crises. A loyal person does not prove themselves when everything is easy, they reveal themselves when it costs them something. Watch how people act when they are inconvenienced. They have the chance to benefit at your expense. They must choose between you and a crowd. If betrayal emerges in these moments, you are spared greater ruin later. If loyalty remains, it is tested steel. This practice transforms betrayal into wisdom. Instead of fearing every future connection, you become more strategic. Every relationship becomes an experiment in loyalty, and through patience, you refine your circle. Machiavelli would argue that a betrayed man who tests loyalty becomes more dangerous than the naive man who never learned the lesson. 5. The balance of fear and love in relationships. Machiavelli famously asked whether it is better for a ruler to be loved or feared. His answer was both, but if forced to choose fear. In personal relationships, betrayal often happens when you rely entirely on love without building respect. If someone loves you but does not fear losing you, they may take advantage. Fear in this sense is not cruelty, it is consequence. After betrayal, the way to trust again is not to become colder, but to become firmer. Every bond must carry a boundary. When someone knows that crossing you has consequences, distance, withdrawal of access, removal of privilege, they are less likely to betray. Love without respect breeds exploitation. Fear without love breeds resentment. But together, they create balance. Loyalty built on affection, reinforced by consequence. Machiavelli's wisdom here is simple: never give someone the chance to believe that betraying you is harmless. When you learn this, trust after betrayal becomes less about naive openness and more about calibrated strength. You love, but you also command respect. You forgive, but you never forget the cost of betrayal. 6. The Machiavellian use of betrayal. Machiavelli would never waste betrayal as a mere wound. He would weaponize it. Betrayal reveals two things: the nature of the betrayer and the hidden mechanics of power around you. The person who betrayed you has exposed their weakness, greed, fear, envy, or ambition. And by exposing it, they give you insight into how others might betray in the future. The betrayed can turn into the strategist. Instead of nursing the wound, you can learn who envies your position, who benefits from your downfall, who stays silent during your pain. This intelligence makes you stronger. Betrayal, when studied, becomes education. Machiavelli would argue that betrayal is one of life's most honest teachers, as people reveal their true character when they abandon you. To trust again after betrayal, you must learn to use it, not just survive it. You begin to see betrayal not as a curse, but as a filter removing the weak and false, leaving behind only those who remain loyal when there is nothing to gain. 7. Choosing strategic trust over blind faith. Finally, the art of trust after betrayal lies in shifting from blind faith to strategic trust. Blind faith says, "I believe in you no matter what." Strategic trust says, "I trust you because your interests align with mine. Your character has been tested, and I hold the power to withdraw if you falter." Machiavelli would remind us that betrayal is not proof that all people are false. It is proof that trust must be earned, managed, and maintained. The betrayed person learns not to close their heart, but to sharpen their mind. This means you choose fewer, but stronger connections. You allow time to reveal character before you commit. You structure relationships so betrayal costs more than loyalty. The beauty of this transformation is that you never return to the person you were before the betrayal. You become wiser, sharper, more discerning. Your trust is rarer, but more valuable. And when you do give it, it carries the weight of true loyalty because it has survived the fire of betrayal. Conclusion: when trust is broken, something inside you changes forever. Betrayal isn't just an act, it's a lesson. Machiavelli understood that loyalty is fragile, often built not on love, but on alignment of interests. And when those interests shift, so too does loyalty. The 7 truths we explored today show that betrayal doesn't just destroy relationships, it reshapes how you approach life. It teaches you that trust is not a guarantee, but a calculated risk. It forces you to rebuild your inner sovereignty, to place trust strategically, and to never again confuse blind loyalty with strength. Yes, betrayal hurts, but it also sharpens. It wakes you from illusions, strips away naivety, and reminds you of the world's true nature. And when you understand that, you don't stop trusting, you start trusting differently. Not as a desperate subject hoping to be loved, but as a sovereign choosing alliances wisely. So now, I want to hear from you. What was the most powerful lesson betrayal ever taught you? Share it in the comments below. Your insight could be the light someone else needs in their darkest moment. Remember, betrayal may break illusions, but it also rebuilds strength if you let it.